the lack of communication lead to speculation. They have family members that's in the city. Some may be in the 7 ward, others may be in the 8 ward. He with his friends, he with his friend. They get into it, they beef, and now you got family members beefing with each other. Or their families may be close with these families because they went to school together. And they beefing over something that happened that a conversation could have changed. Hi, this is King Mack Fitness, the owner of the Motivation Team Athletic Academy, and I'm on the brand by you.
Yeah, so like I was talking about off camera, bro, you are like one of the most iconic, you feel me, black men, black motivators. You know, you getting people health right, you getting the kids right, and I feel like this is, this is completely long overdue. Well, us just sitting down and chopping it up, man. And I just want to, first and foremost, say thank you for all the work that you do in the community, bro.
I appreciate it, man.
The motivation that you give, not only to the kids, but to other black men to make them want to do more. You feel me? Just crazy, crazy motivation, bro. Like I see so many people that I work with. And then, they come over here and next thing you know, they working out every day, you feel me, just getting their mind right, mind, body, and spirit, and that's really awesome. So for people who don't know who you are, let's take it back a little bit. Like, who was Mack before the fitness, before, the motivation?
Well, that pretty much always been me, but I didn't know that that was me. But I grew up in a single mother household in the Magnolia project. My mother was a phenomenal athlete. My daddy was a phenomenal athlete. But there's a lot of things that I didn't know about them because, being a child, your parents keep you away from certain things. So that, made my journey finding myself hard.
Elaborate on it a little bit. Like, what are some things, some challenges that you, experienced growing up based off of the fact you were in a single parent household?
Well, one of the biggest mistakes I made was not going to the proper high schools that I should have went to. They had different high schools wanted me to come to their schools like De La Salle, Newman, St. Augusta. Yeah. But I chose to go to Walter Alcorn to play basketball. And that's kind of where I stopped playing football and got away from something that I love because I didn't know. And I just was doing it right around that time. I just was like really following my friends and following the wave of the Daniel brothers. You had Greed and Dino. They was making noise in the city, so that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, so when you went to Cohen, you started balling in basketball. That's crazy. I didn't even know that you had played basketball. So how did, the shift and the transition, affect you during your high school years? Being a basketball athlete instead of the, traditional football.
Well, crossing over, it was kind of hard because basketball was more challenging. Football was easy.
Yeah.
So basketball was it was way more challenging because you had to run more. You constantly moving, and playing basketball at Con, it was more of defensive than scoring. Yeah. Like the coach didn't really care who can score. We all can score, but I'm saying, can you stop somebody from scoring? So like that was challenging. So I fell in love with basketball because now I'm doing something that's hard. Yeah. And basketball was real hard starting off. Yeah. And then I just got good at it because I worked at it so much.
Yeah. So after the high school transition, let's talk about your journey after high school and how that turned you into who you are today.
My journey after high school, made another bad decision. Went to Southern University. I had several offers to go to Alabama, Tennessee, Alabama State, but I chose to go to Southern because football. Football, okay, yeah. Because
so you started getting recruited for football.
Because I wanted to play in the Bayou Classic, so I chose Southern. I end up not taking my ACT in time, so I had to walk on at Southern, and then I was able to earn a scholarship through training, through practice. Then my mother was diagnosed with bone marrow cancer, so I had to leave the team after working hard to get, to make the team. Right, so I had to come home, work 3 jobs, catching the RTA bus. So I was pretty much getting probably 4 hours of sleep a day to make sure my mother's lifestyle stayed the way it was before she got sick. Yeah. So after that, my mother passed away.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Cool, man, no problem. I decided to go back to college.
Yeah.
still not listening. My mother told me I didn't have to go back to school. I need to follow my dreams. And during that time, I really didn't know what it was, but she seen that I fell in love with working out. Because even like while I was home, I still work out. I still be training people. I just be just telling people, oh man, do this. You know what I'm saying, try eating this. So I really got into the food stuff because I was really baffled by my mom getting bone marrow cancer because my mom took care of herself.
Dang.
So she didn't eat bad at all. She didn't drink alcohol. She didn't smoke. So like that threw me. So I went to studying, different eating habits just for to like feed her. So after she passed away, I returned to school. A few months later, I ended up catching the second-degree murder charge.
Wow.
Me and a couple of my friends, we opened up a nightclub. And the nightclub was already open, but we took it over. We took over the nightclub, and that brought jealousy on us being from New Orleans, being in a different city, we being loud and flamboyant. But people just not knowing that we come from New Orleans, where that and we escaping an environment where you can't do that because it's consequences behind that. So now we in a different environment, and we trying to enjoy life, but it's everywhere. And that's what I always tell people from North, no matter where you go, there's always envy, there's always hate, there's always crime. So you have to make better decisions. So going back over to that incident, as I got older, I understood that I can't fault a hater for being a hater. I can't fault a robber for being a robber. I fault myself because I put myself in a situation where I allowed them to touch me. So it was more me and not them. So I know if I wouldn't have changed up something that I didn't do, so I'd never go to the club on a Saturday night because Sunday I'm getting ready for church. So this particular Saturday night I went to the club. And I always tell people you have to be mindful what you ask God for. This particular Saturday night was the day of one of my closest friends' funeral, Montreal. His son right now is playing football at UL. We won freshman of the year, running back freshman of the year. Montreal Johnson. And it was the day of his funeral. And I sat on my bed and I'm like, God, I'm tired. I need a vacation. I need to get away from everybody. So I tell people you gotta be mindful what you ask God for. God heard me. And an hour later, I was in custody, booked on a second-degree murder charge. And I'm like, wow. End up binding out from that. 2 days later, Katrina hit. Katrina hit on the same day that my mother passed away on the year before. I'm like, God, man, what are you, like, man, what's up, man? Like, what are you trying to show me? Like, what am I missing? And he's like, you keep trying to do what you want to do. I'm showing you this it because I always was into fitness. I always help people work out, and I always try to get people to eat better. Even as a kid. And all my friends tell me, like, man, you do make up, do push-ups in the practice before we play pitch-up tackle. I'm like, man, go ahead. Like, no, for real. So,
That's crazy. So how did that experience, with the charge and everything, you come back home and it's like you hit the ground running. What were some things that you learned, when you took your vacation? You feel me? How did you apply it back?
Well, my mindset had shifted right before I went to jail. I had the opportunity to sit down with some of the Magnolia veterans like Stone, KC, Stepper. Like they sit me down, took me out to lunch, and they talked to me. And they pretty much like, who you are. I'm saying, we know you can handle your business, but when you go to jail, you're not promised to come home, so you have to stay focused. They're like, man, you different. You always been different. You never been a follower. You always been a leader. So, just stay out the way. I'm saying, do your time and come home. And I kept that with me. Like, you can go to jail and not come home. You can go to jail with a 30-day sentence and it can turn into a life sentence. I've met people in jail like that. So, so I went to jail focused already. What the mindset is of, I'm going here, so I may not be able to come home if I make a bad decision in jail.
Right. And it kind of sets you up like that.
Right. So I pretty much, got straight to it. got to jail, started working out, started reading more. I actually read I actually completed my first book of reading when I was in jail. Right, and that was major for me. And it just drove something in me for to want to keep reading, keep reading. I'm like, damn, you know, this is how I feel to finish a book.
But that's a good feeling though.
Right.
Like that last page, you close that, you be like.
So you know, I really got into focusing on myself. I went to taking different self-help programs, and one of the things I learned about myself was I had bitter roots. I was bitter because my father wasn't in my life, and I know you. I can call you, I can come to your house, but you're not in my life. And I always tell my father, like right now, me and him like close. I always tell him like, there's no time limit on being a father. You know, we all go through something where you went through something where your father wasn't in your life, but you didn't know why. And then when you learned why, you're like, wow, lack of communication. So now you wasn't in my life because it was normal that your dad wasn't in your life and you didn't know. So I never was angry at my dad because we had this type of conversation. I always tell me like, it ain't no time frame. I was more mad at him for not sharing his troubles with me because we almost have the same problems, like coming up as a child. Like most of the stuff I did, he'd be like, oh, I already know you're gonna do that. I'm like, how you know? He's like, cause I tried that, I did that, that's stupid. Why you ain't tell me it was stupid? You know, so I used to get mad. I'm like, why you ain't tell me that? Oh, he'd be like, man, I saw you make a move, I already know what you're about to do. Cause you know, daddy. So I used to learn stuff about him. He used to go to California, make moves, and he's like, oh, I already knew you was doing that because, you know,
I used to do that.
He like, you know what I'm saying, you got people tricking, you know, I'm saying you tricking people with the school stuff, but I know you're doing this. I'm like, how you know I was doing that? He be like, you my son.
Right, man. It's crazy, like the fatherhood aspect of it. And I see, you know, your dad, man, proud dad, and not only to your biological kids, but to, you know, the community. A lot of kids that don't have fathers in the home, but like look up to you and look at you for that father figure role. So, what are some things, you know, how did you even get into like doing the programs? I saw you had the camp, you know, you do coaching and stuff like that. Let's talk about how you got into the actual working with the kids directly.
Well, pretty much through sports, because sports was an outlet for me to look up to another black man in a positive aspect. Like my coach, Kevin Sanders, Coach Wu, he the AD right now at 35. He was the guy recruited me to come to Con, right in Shakespeare Park. But he was the first black man to ask me how my day was. And was like actually like a son, he actually listened.
Like really wanted.
Like before practice, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying, how you did was, what you learned today? That was the first black man that ever asked me that, and that changed my life. So the impact he had on me, then he used to always call me coach. I'm like, why you call me coach? He like, man, you gonna be a coach. He like, some people got it, some people don't. He like, you got it. As a freshman.
Oh, you cool. That's speaking power to somebody too.
Right.
Like,
So, you know, it was major. And I used to I used to look forward to him not coming to school after practice, him asking me how my day was. So that was major. So, like, the impact he had on my life, I want to impact other kids' life like that who don't have their father in their life.
That's deep. So let's talk about some of the like the summer camp. So what's the camp called that you do like every summer with kids?
Cultivating Youth.
Cultivating Youth. What's some things that y'all do? Like you like work out history? Like what's some things?
I mean, it's pretty much a camp based around working out. So it's pretty much a camp full of athletes, kids who have facing with childhood obesity, kids that's being bullied, kids that bullied. I want all of them. I want everybody. But it's pretty much teaching kids proper etiquette. That it's okay for to dress properly. It's okay to wear your pants above your breasts. It's okay to wear your shirt inside your pants. It's okay to be different. But you also can do this. And you also can do that. Before being a football player, before being a basketball player, you have to be a person. You have to be a professional. You have to be a doctor, a lawyer. You have to major in something. So you have to be somebody before you this. This is just a hobby. This is something that you love to do, but what are you going to be before you do this? And that's my message to the kids.
That's a super message, man. And in closing, I definitely want to highlight just how the kids that's on the streets, you feel me? Like you like one of the big mediators. Like, so let's talk about, you know, how you actually just squashed, you know, beefs and like just settled disagreements between people just by being the voice of reason.
Because like I would tell people, is the lack of communication lead to speculation. They have family members that's in the city. Some may be in the 7th Ward, Others may be in the 8-ball. He with his friends, they get into it, they beef, and now you got family members beefing with each other. Or they families may be close with these families because they went to school together. And they beefing over something that happened that a conversation could have changed. And sometimes guys might come and say, man, look, I have a problem. I'm like, oh, with who? With them? Hold on, I'm about to get, look, man, look, come pull up over here. One day I had like probably 40 guys out there. Everybody have guns. And you can feel the tension in the air.
So how do you even approach that? Like, what would you like?
Because I know they don't want to die. They don't want to die. Like, you know, y'all portraying the image. Y'all don't want, I always tell people, when you're dealing with kids, there's certain type of kids that's lost and not coming back. Yeah. And there's kids that are going to just come back. Yeah. Those ones who come back, they want to talk. Yeah. They got something that's just lost. They not coming. They gone. Yeah. Their mind made up. Okay. But when I was able to talk to those guys and everybody put their guns down and they dapped it off, and I'm like, man, look, y'all kill it because like y'all family go hurt more. And the thing about it with me was when I went to jail, 2 of my friends committed suicide, 2 of my close friends. Wow. But I know for a fact Elgin Riley and Stephen Williams would not have committed suicide if I was home because I was their ear. If they was going through something, they'll call me. I wasn't there. Damn. The impact we have on people's lives, we don't know until we out of their life. So with me going to jail, that happened, it opened my eyes like, man, you can't, like, you have to be there. And it's simple. You lose your life to not having a conversation, your whole family, your whole household, everything changed because of one bad decision. So those guys talked it out and it came about nothing. Like simple, a 5-minute conversation that they could have been had before 7 other people died. Changed, and it was like, man, dude came back to me like, bro, nobody else could have never did that. He was like, man, look, them dudes took a few of my partners, we took a few of theirs. He was like, but you know, I'm saying we good now.
That's crazy.
Communication, bro. Like communication was stripped from us. Like our verse was taken, so we don't know the power of our verse until you see it move through somebody. Like, man, you tripping. Like for real. For real. For real. Like this not behind nothing. Yeah. Like this, I always tell people, I value people, I don't value money. Money don't have no value. So if I can plant a seed in you and that seed manifests to something money can't buy, like money don't have no value. So what's the problem? Yeah. It's a few dollars, it's a female, it was a conversation that we could have had that somebody said something, he said, she said. Yeah. And I could have called you like a man and like, man, what's up with that? Yeah. Yeah. Simple, but now y'all done already lost 7 friends. Right. So 7 lives ago, we could have been had this conversation. It's that easy.